Hi, this is Chris with CryptoStopper. CryptoStopper can be installed manually via group policy, pushed out by your RMM, or installed using a third-party installer. In this video, I will demonstrate how to manually install CryptoStopper. The install is very similar on a Windows desktop or server, so I'm going to do a side-by-side install of both simultaneously. You will notice that at the end of the install, the server only requires one additional step, which is to enter the AD credentials, so CryptoStopper server can send a shutdown command to an infected endpoint. Let's get started. I'm going to log into the portal and click on my customer that I just created. I'm going to grab that license key for the customer. Once I have my license key and I've downloaded CryptoStopper from the web from getcryptostopper.com/install, I can start my installation. But I'm going to do some checks on my server first. So on my server, I'm going to check my server shares just to see what is available. So I've got a share called app deployment, shares backup, shares imaging. Now, CryptoStopper is set to auto protect itself. So when I'm installing this, I want to just kind of think about server shares and folders that I don't want protected. So in this case, I don't want to protect C shares imaging, and there's a folder under backup called old that I don't want protected as well. So I'm going to set CryptoStopper to automatically protect the user profiles, the default volumes, the shared folders, and then I'm going to set two exclusions to exclude the old folder under backups, and I'm going to set an exclusion for that imaging folder because I don't want those protected. So I'm going to go into the customer settings and click agent default settings. You can see I've got the settings checked to auto protect the user profiles, auto protect the shares, and auto protect the system root. So I'm going to click the add next to folder exclusions, and I'm just going to add the folders I want excluded. This happens to be a share, C shares, imaging. I'm going to exclude that folder. And I'm also going to exclude C shares, backup, old. These are just some folders that I don't want protected. I don't really care about the old backups. And the imaging program, when it runs, it deletes everything, including hidden honeypot files, and so it can generate a false positive, so I want to exclude that. So I've got C shares imaging, C shares backup old excluded. I've hit save. Now any new endpoint that gets installed will pick up these settings configured for this customer. So again, I'm going to grab the key. Now we'll go ahead and start the installation. So I've already downloaded CryptoStopper. Again, you can get it at getcryptostopper.com/install. I've saved it out to my server. I have it in a folder called shares, app deployment, CryptoStopper, and here's my installer. So I'm going to go ahead and get File Explorer pointing to that installer on both the workstation and the server. There we go, and once I have the installer available on both, I'll go ahead and click install. The install is very similar on the workstation and the server. It installs exactly the same. The only difference is once you've installed the server, you have to configure the shutdown credentials so that any malicious workstation that attacks the server will get isolated, and then the server will also use those Active Directory credentials to send a shutdown command to that malicious host. So we'll go ahead and let this install finish up here. As you can see, it does take a minute or so to set up the services and complete the installation. Once CryptoStopper is installed, you will get the protection not active message, and you'll get a prompt to enter your license key. So we'll go ahead and enter our key. Oops, I've still got the old path there in my clipboard, so I'll go back and copy the key. And we'll go back to the server and put that key. We'll finish up on the desktop, and we'll enter the key there as well. And we'll click activate, and I've successfully activated both endpoints, the server and the workstation. So once it's installed, it shows up like this. Nothing is protected except for one folder, cryptosym test folder. CryptoStopper will do a sync with the portal, and then it will automatically protect all those folders that I selected, and it will exclude the folders that I set an exclusion for. So you can see here we have automatic protection has been applied. So now I'm going to do the one thing on the server that I don't have to do on the workstation. I'm entering my Active Directory credentials, the domain, the username and password, and again, this will be used in a shutdown command to any malicious workstation. So at this point, I have installed and fully configured CryptoStopper. I can click on my customer I can see that I've got a server and 2 desktops now, and if I click on endpoints, devices, I can see these 2 devices have showed up. My 2K12DC, it has all the options protected. It has the folder exclusion set. And if I type in shares, you'll see that the imaging and the backup old folder are not included in the list. So they have successfully been excluded. And I can go to the server or the workstation. I can check any of these folders. I'm going to go ahead and turn on viewing of hidden files so we can see the honeypot file protection. We saw honeypot files show up on the desktop. We see them in folders at the root of C. And if we look at the shares, we'll find honeypot files there. Those folders were auto protected. And now we'll check for the exclusions. So if I click backup and click old, there we go. That folder is excluded, no honeypot files. And the imaging folder, shares imaging, also does not contain honeypot files. So we can see that the folders that I selected for protection have been protected and the ones that I excluded have been excluded. Now I'll go ahead and turn off the hidden items and we are set. We have fully installed CryptoStopper, workstation, and server, and these systems are protected and ready to go.